Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Jai Hind. Welcome to the session. I hope all of you are doing well. Good evening. So I hope all of you are doing well. Okay, so in the last session, that is yesterday, we have been discussing about the in-house inquiry. Prior to that, we have also talked about the collegium system. In this week itself, we have discussed a number of topics with respect to judiciary also. We have discussed about topics related to freedom of speech also. And at the same time, several other topics also we have discussed in this session in the last 1 week. Now, in today's session, the topics which we are going to discuss, one thing is a very important topic, India-Russia relations, that is from the point of GS paper 2. Then we are also going to talk about another major issue, which is about abortion in India. That what are the issues with respect to abortion in India? That is the other topic which we are going to discuss. Then we will also be discussing about this one related topic, the judicial reforms in Israel. Okay, so there has been some change. There has been some change in the judicial appointment process in Israel. So we will try to understand that also, so that we can connect it with India and see what's happening in India, what's happening in Israel. Okay, and then we are going to talk about some small topic, a very unique one, SilvaGuard. So we will see what is the SilvaGuard and why it is there in the news. Okay. Okay. So let's start discussing the topics. The first one, let us see some questions first and then we will come to it. Consider the following: willful defaulter, poor credit appraisal, economic slowdown, and increasing trade with China. How many of the following can lead to increase in NPA in India? How many of them can lead to increase in the non-performing assets in India? Good evening. Thank you, but it's not pink. Okay, see this question and tell me how many of them can lead to increase in NPA in India. This is topic number 1. We have last day discussed about the issue of NPA also, the non-performing assets. We have seen that in our country, non-performing assets have been decreasing in the recent times. Okay. It has been decreasing in the last 3-4 years. We have seen the trend of that also. Okay. So in that respect, we have this one question. C option. So I guess everyone knows this part. Yes. If you look at this question, willful defaulter, yes, it is a region. Poor credit appraisal, that is also one of the factor. Economic slowdown, that is also a factor. But increasing trade with China, that is having no such relation with respect to NPA in India. So here the answer will be option number C, that is only 3. The final authority to decide the breach of privilege in the Legislative Assembly is Governor of the state, President of India, Speaker of House, or none. So this is question number 2. Last day we have discussed about the privilege motion also. Privilege motion in Lok Sabha or legislative assemblies or councils, etc. So in that respect, we have this question number 2. The final authority to decide the breach of privilege in legislative assembly is, first one is Governor of the state, second one is President of India, third one is Speaker of the House, and D is none. So this is question number 2. Question number 2, again, I think all of you can answer this quite easily here also. Okay. If you look at this, yes, it is the Speaker of the House. It is the Speaker of House who will ultimately decide whether there has been a breach of privilege or not. He will also be deciding whether to admit this motion or not. So that will be decided by the Speaker of the House. Okay. Then, now we have this one question. Consider the following pairs: Spratly Islands, South China Sea; Diego Garcia, Pacific Ocean; and Socotra Island, South China Sea. So you have to tell me how many of them are correctly matched. How many of them are correctly matched? That is the question. This is question number 3. Spratly Islands, Diego Garcia, Socotra Island. And first is saying South China Sea. Second is saying Pacific Ocean. Third is saying South China Sea. So question number 3. Okay, one answer is option B, option A, C option. Socotra Island. This is Socotra Island. Okay. This island is Socotra Island. Socotra Island. Okay. This is Socotra Island. Question number 3. Socotra Island. So what will be the answer? B option, A option, or C option? One is definitely correct. One of them is definitely correct. So what will be the answer? Yes, of course we can see Spratly Island. It is there in South China Sea, so that is correct. Diego Garcia, it is there in Indian Ocean. This is there in Indian Ocean. Okay. It is basically under the control of United States. Okay. It was part of Britain. It is part of Britain, but Britain has given it on lease to United States. Okay. It has given it on lease to United States. Then Socotra Island, it is basically near this part of Yemen. It is in the Arabian Sea region near this part of Yemen. So this third one is incorrect. Second one is incorrect. First one is correct. So answer is only one. Socotra Island, it is there near this part of Yemen in the Arabian Sea region. Then we have this Diego Garcia in the Indian Ocean region near this part of Chagos Island and all. It is the Britain territory but on lease to United States. And then we have a Spratly Islands. It is there in South China Sea. So now this is the questions. These were the questions. Now we are going to discuss this one part, India-Russia relation. It is one of the most simple and yet emerging complex relation. Like if we talk about India and Russia, it is said that if India has one friend in the world, which is always a friend, that is Russia. Yeah. Of course, there are issues between India and Russia from time to time, but there is one friend on which India can always rely in all matters. Okay. Like suppose that if there are allegations of human right violations or allegations of nuclear proliferation or anything, if India is doing any such thing, India knows that there is one country in the world, irrespective of what we have done, it is always in our support, and that is Russia. Okay. So what we see that now there is this news article that Putin is going to visit India this year. Okay. Now why this is considered as a very important thing? Why this is being considered as very important? Because it is going to be first such visit after the Russia-Ukraine crisis. Okay. So what we see that this is going to be first visit of Mr. Putin after Russia-Ukraine crisis. Like from the last 3 years, Mr. Putin has not been to India. He has not come India after 2022 itself. Last year, Indian Prime Minister went to Russia. And now, after a long period of time, the Russian president is coming to India officially now. Okay. So, means date has not been announced when, but he is going to come to India this year. So, in this context, we are going to talk about India-Russia relationship. That what is the history of it and all of that. So, our history is like from the times of the Soviet Union itself. Okay. So, if we look at the historical relation, we see that from the Soviet time itself, Soviet India Friendship Treaty. Okay. Soviet India Friendship Treaty. When India has war with Pakistan, or when India has war with this Pakistan to liberate Bangladesh, at that time itself, there was a huge support from Russia. Okay. So what we see that during 1971 war, during this 1971 war, the Soviet helped India. Okay. So this is one part. India didn't become part of Soviet, but Soviet has always been helping India during these times. At the same time, what we also see that during the Cold War era, India has also done one part. India has not aligned with the Western countries as the entire world has done. Okay. So India followed the non-alignment. India followed non-alignment. India followed non-alignment and maintained good relations with Russia. Maintained this good relations with Russia. So that is one significant part, that even during this 1971 war or during the entire Cold War era, we have maintained good relations with Russia. Okay. At the same time, now if we talk about India and Russia, so in the recent times, what we see that India and Russia have strategic partnership. India and Russia has strategic partnership. Okay. It is the most comprehensive. In fact, you can call this that we are having the special and privileged strategic partnership. This is called as special and privileged. Special and privileged strategic partnership. So with India and Russia, this is the special term which is used to describe India-Russia relationship. Special and privileged strategic partnership. With other countries, we are having like comprehensive economic partnership, comprehensive strategic partnership. But with Russia, we have this one terminology, special and privileged strategic partnership. Means in all cases, there is a special mention of Russia. There is a special affection toward Russia, and privilege is also there in terms of trade, in terms of diplomacy, in terms of international relations, in all matters. Okay. So that is one part. We also see that with Russia, we have multilateral cooperation. Can you tell me some of the organization in which India and Russia have multilateral cooperation? Can you give me name of some of the organizations? Can you name some of the organization where India and Russia are part of it? Can you give me some names where India and Russia are partners in multilateral organizations? Any such organization which you can remember? SCO is there, Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Anything else? United Nations, G20, BRICS, SCO, of course. Like two organizations we can primarily say. One is SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Then we have BRICS. Although India is part of G20 also, India is part of United Nations also. So that is a normal thing. We are especially having this partnership in terms of SCO, in terms of BRICS. Okay. So there we are having significant partnership. There we are having this significant partnership with each other. Okay. Then if we look at the India and Russia relation, one of the main component is defense ties. One of the main component is defense ties. India and Russia, if we look at this, like we have number of things. BrahMos, Sukhoi, we have this S-400, okay, nuclear technology, and so many. In fact, you can say approx 50%, 45 to 50% defense import. They are coming from Russia. Okay. So we are having significant amount of defense deal with Russia. The main arsenals of India are coming from Russia. We have also cooperation in terms of space technology, space tech. Like recently, if you look at this, the Gaganyaan astronaut training. Gaganyaan astronaut training. In fact, first satellite of India, Aryabhat, was also launched with the cooperation from Russia. So there also we see that there is cooperation from Russia in that terms also. In terms of economy, our trade has grown significantly to approximately $66 billion in 2024. So Russia is emerging as one of the key trade partners of India. It is emerging as one of the main trade partners of India. For a very long period of time, our trade with Russia was on a minimal level, less than $10 billion. But now it has increased up to $66 billion and it is increasing year by year. So this is a significant growth in terms of trade also. Okay. Then there is another part, energy cooperation. There is also this energy cooperation. Whether we are talking about the crude oil at cheap rates, or we are talking about nuclear power plants in India, so they are also coming from Russia. Okay. We are having also collaboration on North-South transport corridor. North-South transport corridor. So on this front also, Russia is there with India. When we talk about the permanent seat in United Nations Security Council, Russia supports it. On matter of Kashmir, Russia supports us. On any international matter, in any international scenario, Russia is there to support us. Okay. Although there are differences with respect to India, Russia and China. In the recent times, what we have seen that the Russia-Pakistan proximity was also increasing. Although Pakistan is now having a different challenge itself. Okay. So that is gone. That issue is not so much prominent. But one of the major challenges, of course, Russia and China's engagement. And second is India's relation with Western countries vis-a-vis Russia. So there are two major challenges. If we talk about challenge, there are two major things. First thing is Russia-China. And then India and US. So you can see the balance here. India is having relations with US and Russia is having relations with China. So there is a balance. You can see the three big powers. Okay. So India and China not so friendly with each other. Russia and US not so friendly with each other. But then there is this axis where we have the four major powers of the world: India, Russia, China, and US. So Russia is maintaining relation with China. India is maintaining relation with United States. Okay. So this is the complexity of the world order right now. Although for Russia, it is simply said that Russia-India relationship is a time-tested friendship. Okay. It is a time-tested friendship. There have been difficult times, but then we have always grown stronger. Okay. So this is one thing. Some industries have also been established with the help of Russia. Okay. So this is one part, the glimpse of India-Russia relation. Okay. That there are certain challenges, but on the cooperation side, there is too many things which is in favor of India or in favor of Russia also. Okay. So this is one part, the first topic, India-Russia relation. Okay. Now, coming to the second topic. The second topic is about abortion. This is one of the most sensitive topic in the present times. So can you tell me, what are the laws, or like to what time period abortion is allowed in India? And what are the issues with respect to this? Abortion. First, let us talk about this legal provision. Legal provision. Like to what time limit abortion is allowed in India? To what time we allow abortion in India? What is the legal part? We have this one act, Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act. Okay. Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act. We have trade deficit with Russia now. We have trade deficit with Russia. But it is mainly because we are importing oil from Russia. We are having trade deficit, significant trade deficit. 20 weeks, 24 weeks. Okay. Now see, earlier it was of course 20 weeks, but now the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act allows abortion up to 24 weeks for specific cases. Okay. So up to 24 weeks it is allowed now. Okay. So what we see that allows abortion up to 24 weeks, subject to certain conditions. Okay. So under the Medical Termination of Pregnancy, Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act, means up to 24 weeks this is allowed. Up to 24 weeks it is allowed. Okay. Now in this case, like it has been said by Supreme Court that all the women, regardless of their marital status, have the right to abortion. Okay. So right to abortion is for all the people, all the women, whether they are married or unmarried. Okay. So this is a right to abortion. There is a right to abortion irrespective of marital status. Irrespective of marital status. Okay. So the abortion of pregnancy is allowed up to 24 weeks. Okay. Now, what are the issues with respect to abortion? This is the law part. This is the law part, that it is allowed up to 24 weeks, subject to certain conditions, subject to observations by doctors and all. But what are the issues with respect to that? Let us talk from the doctor's perspective. Doctor's perspective. Okay. If we are talking from the doctor's perspective, so there was recently this one article in the Hindu which says that many doctors oppose the abortion. They consider it as a burden or even as a sin. Okay. So a group of doctors, not all the doctor, a group of doctors see abortion, a group of doctors see abortion as a burden or even a sin. They consider that abortion is a sin or abortion is a burden. Okay. Many of them, they say that it is like committing a murder. It is like committing a murder. Okay. So there is also an emotional toll on doctors. There is an emotional toll on doctors also, like in the medical termination of pregnancy. There is, like, suppose if there is a child of, let us say, 12 weeks or 16 weeks or 20 weeks. Okay. So if there is a termination of pregnancy, so that is simply like killing a fetus. Okay. So there is an emotional toll on the doctor. There is also this emotional toll on doctor. So that is one group of doctor who believe that it should not be done. There are other group of doctors and many other activists who believe that the primary objective is to save the health of the mother, or primary objective is to safeguard the mother. And safeguarding here means physically plus mentally plus emotionally. Okay. So there is another group which simply puts the focuses on mother's health. Mother's health, physical, emotional, or the physical or mental or emotional well-being is also necessary. Sometimes having a child, like many of the women may not be ready for it, or they may not be prepared for it. And in that, having a child can have a mental issue for the health of the mother. Okay. So there is also one group which says that there is a primacy to the health of the mother. Now, there is other group which believes that what about the right of the fetus? The right of the fetus. Right of the fetus means right of the unborn child. There are many people who believe that, like this, the fetus or the unborn child, if we are going for the medical termination of pregnancy, so it is equivalent to the killing of the child. It is equivalent to killing of the child. Okay. So many people believe that the right of the fetus overweighs the right of the mother. Okay. So it's said that in many of the discussions, right of the fetus, some people believe that right of the fetus is greater than right of the mother. Right of mother. Now, there is no such thing like one person is correct and another person is incorrect. It changes according to the society's perception and all. Okay. In medical ethics, of course, it is said that the mother's right should take precedent. There is a medical ethics which says that the mother's right should take precedence. Okay. So in terms of medical ethics, here the right of mother will be greater than the right of the fetus. Okay. So there is always going to be a debate on this. And right now what we see that throughout the world there is a general consensus that the right of the mother is going to take the precedence over the right of the fetus. In certain societies, in certain religion or tradition or culture, it may be just the opposite, that the right of the fetus is greater than right of the mother. Now, there is no one correct here, no one incorrect here. Everyone is going to have their own perspective with respect to this. Okay. This is a topic which is going to be highly debated from time to time. Okay. So there is like, all the people can have their opinion and none of them are right. Sorry, none of them are wrong with respect to that. Okay. It is always debatable. One person will say that the right of the fetus is preceding or taking the precedence. The other group will always say that the right of fetus is also there. And especially in the modern times, like there is also this one discussion. Let's suppose that there are two cases. One where pregnancy could not have been avoided. Yeah. There is one case where pregnancy could not have been avoided. Like suppose someone is a victim of sexual assault. Okay. Like a victim of sexual assault. A victim of sexual assault. Okay. In that situation, the right of mother should take the precedence over the right of the fetus. Okay. Or there is a patriarchal society with little or no option to women to choose pregnancy. Like suppose that if there is a patriarchal society where women is having lesser right to choose over the pregnancy, whether she wanted to be pregnant or not, if there is no such option, and in that case, if women is going for abortion, so then that is one case, that is one of the case. In the second part, where the woman is fully aware and is in control of pregnancy. So there are two issues. Okay. There are two issues. One where the woman is in full control, whether she knows that yes, she is going to be pregnant or not. Means she has chosen to be pregnant and later on she decided that she doesn't want to be pregnant. So then that is a different case. And in the first case, there is a different scenario. So this issue about abortion cannot be done in one single thing, that is it allowed or is it not allowed? There are various gray areas which has to be traveled in such a manner. There are certain gray areas which we have to see as per the situation. Okay. So this is one part with respect to abortion. Okay. Now, if I ask from you that what's your view on abortion right, whether the right of fetus takes the precedent or the rights of the mother? So what is your answer? Right of the fetus versus the right of the mother. Which one should take precedence? And no one is incorrect here. It is about your opinion. Doctor can perform termination due to medical abnormalities. Yes, for 20 weeks it is general and 24 weeks up in certain conditions. So that's why I have written up to 24 weeks in certain condition. So this is one part. This is always going to be a debate, like surrogacy, like abortion. This is always going to be one of the debate, whether it is the right of the fetus or the right of the mother. In general, when you have to write in the examination, you can go by this part, that it depends on the situation. Okay, we need to define that in what case the abortion could be allowed, in what cases, in general case, up to what, how many months it can be allowed, and in other cases, to what extent this abortion can be allowed. Okay. So that depends on the situation also. Okay. Neutral, right of mother and right of fetus also. So there are multiple conditions. There is not one condition. There are multiple conditions. Like in many of the traditional societies, there is this physical barriers to the physical barriers for getting protections, okay, or physical barriers regarding reproductive protections and all. So in that societies, the abortion becomes one of the common option. Okay, and plus at the same time, there is both angle. There are certain women who are in control of it. There are certain who are not in control of it. So it is going to depend on the situation. On case to case basis, this can be decided whether abortion is ethical or not. Abortion is legal for sure up to 20 weeks in general and up to 24 weeks in specific cases. Okay. So in general, up to 20 weeks it is easily allowed. Up to 24 weeks also allowed in certain cases like medical abnormalities or other. Okay. Now, it is allowed as a legal right up to 20 weeks, that is for sure. No one can prevent that. But whether it is ethically right or not, that is always going to be debatable. It is legally right up to 20 weeks in general, but ethical is something quite else. Okay. So this is our second topic, abortion. Now, coming to the third one. So there is this one law which has been passed by fetus cannot grow itself. That's true, fetus cannot grow itself. But then once someone decided to grow a fetus and then the person thinks that no, I have changed my mind. So here it is not an object, it is a life which we are talking about. Okay. So that is always going to be a debatable issue. It is always going to be a debatable issue. There will always be counter arguments and arguments. Okay. There will be arguments in favor of right of mother. There will be counter arguments also. It is true that the mother is responsible for the fetus, but once he decides for the fetus, now fetus is a life and it cannot be like anyone cannot decide that whether I have to continue with this life or not. So suppose that in general, if we are talking about, let us say parents are giving birth to their children, but it doesn't mean that they get their right also to kill the children. Okay. They get the right, of course, they have decided to bring the children in the world, but that doesn't give them the power to kill their life also if they want so. Okay. So in same manner, when a fetus is there, like suppose in the present times, a fetus of 5 to 6 months, premature baby can also grow in in hospitals and all. If a baby is premature also, like of 5 months or 6 months, that can also grow. So withdrawing the life support or killing a child, a fetus, can also be ethically wrong in some of the societies. Legally, up to 20 weeks, it is not wrong. Okay. So right now, this is one part about the fetus. Now coming to second part, lessons from the world. Israel passes a law enabling this political control over judicial appointment. So right now what we see that in Israel, a law has been passed giving political control, giving this political control over the appointment of judges. Earlier, what was the system? Previously, what was the system? that judges were appointed by a 9-member committee. They were appointed by a committee of 9 members. So earlier there were a 9-member committee. There was this 9-member committee and it was having representatives. They were having representatives from judiciary. They were having the representatives from judiciary. They were having it from the bar associations and even lawmakers. From bar associations, and at the same time it was also from the lawmakers, means the MPs, okay, from the lawmakers. So there were 3 different sections which were being represented here: judiciary, bar association and lawmakers. So these 9-member committees, they were recommending the name of the judges. They were recommending the persons who can be appointed as judges in Israel. Now, what has been done in the recent past, what they have done about judiciary? So the new system, it says that there will again be a committee. Now, this committee will have 3 members from judiciary. It will have 3 members from judiciary. Okay. At the same time, there will be 2 ministers. There will be 2 ministers. There will be 2 ministers. There will be 2 lawmakers. 2 lawmakers. Opposition plus ruling. Opposition plus ruling. And there will be 2 nominated members. 2 nominated members. Again the same, one from opposition, one from ruling. One from the opposition, one from the ruling. So from political parties, in total 2 plus 2 plus 2, total 6 members will be there from the political branches. There will be 4 of them directly from the government. There will be 4 of them directly from the government, 2 of them who will be from this opposition, and 3 of them who will be from the judicial section. Okay. So there will be total 9 members for appointing the judges. Actually, it is going to give the edge to the political parties. Now, why it has been done? Recently, in the last 1 to 2 years, there have been many such policies of the Israel government which has been blocked or which has been declared unconstitutional by the judiciary of Israel. Okay. It has been declared as unconstitutional many a times in the last 1 year. So there was a scuffle which was going on between the judicial and the political branch in Israel. And now they have changed the method of appointment itself. So it is a lesson for the entire world, for the entire democracy, as what not to do. This is not being seen as a good measure. This is being seen as undermining the judiciary, undermining the democratic system in Israel. Okay. So this is like undermining the this is undermining the judicial system. And it is also undermining the democracy. What we see that in the past also, what we see that there were members from judiciary, there were members from bar association, and there were lawmakers also, means the MPs there who were part of the process. So there was a balance. Now this balance has been breached. Now there is more and more political influence over the judicial appointment. So this is a lesson from the world on what not to do in a democracy. This is not an example which the countries have to follow. This is an example which countries do not have to follow if they have to uphold the democracy. From here you can get the idea that globally the democracy is facing quite backlash from right-wing oriented governments. Okay. So this is one of the challenge which we have seen. Now in this context, just whenever you have a challenge. Whenever you want to have some time, like if you want to see something interesting, just go and watch this movie. Okay, there is a very important monologue in this movie, The Dictator, that why are you also anti-dictator. If you see that clip also, you can understand that what's happening across the democracies of the world and how it is similar to dictatorships. Okay. So whenever you get the time, see this monologue and you will get the idea that what is the challenge with the democracies all over the world. In India also, we are having a challenge with respect to judicial appointment. In the last 1 week, we have discussed about the collegium reform. We have discussed about the in-house inquiry also. Okay. Now, there is always a push for NJAC, National Judicial Appointment Commission. The National Judicial Appointment Commission is similar to what Israel is framing now. In the past, government has come with this NJAC, National Judicial Appointment Commission, which gave this priority or which gave this extra power to the executive in appointment of the judiciary in India. So why there is a need of check and balance, why there is a need of independence, we have seen that in this week entirely. Okay. So now one last topic for the day. There is this one important thing. It is called as SilvaGuard. Okay. So what is this? Basically, this is the first autonomous AI-based drone. Okay. This is an autonomous AI-based drone. And what is the objective of it? The objective is very simple, to give early warning, of forest fire. Okay. So this has been developed in Germany. Okay. You have this one topic in disaster management, forest fire in India. In recent times, with increasing heat, with increasing climate change, and due to various other things, we have huge forest fires in India also. And in that, you can quote this as one of the example. SilvaGuard, it is an AI-based drone which can give this early warning for forest fires. Okay. So this is one small topic which was there in the Hindu. Okay. I hope that is clear. Any doubt, any question? Now there is this one announcement for you. Many of you are also preparing for UPSC examination. So in UPSC, there is now this mains paper 5 and mains paper 6. Okay. So now this is a unique book for your GS paper 5. Okay. So it is all about like this special paper 5 is about UP and all. So from mains perspective, this is one book which is now available on KGS store also. So those who are preparing for UPSC also, or those who are going for examination this year, you can also make use of this book. Okay. So that will be all. Any question, any doubt? So next time we will be meeting on Monday now. Okay. Tomorrow we don't have the class. So on Monday we will meet again for the current affairs. And if it is Eid on that day, then next day. So either on 31st or 1st of April, we are going to meet for the current affairs session. CSET में क्वेश्चन बन जाता है बट टाइम मैनेज नहीं हो पाता, पहले कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव करना या मैथ्स और रीजनिंग. See Disha, the thing is, like if you are going through the question, generally when you are just turning the pages, you will find that there are certain questions which you are able to solve in the first go itself. So rather than just sticking to this idea that I will solve this comprehension first or English first or maths first or reasoning first, go through this flow that if you are just looking at the question, the one which seems quite easy to you, try to solve them first. And after that, try solving those which are of moderate level and then the difficult level. So don't go by the section, go by the question type. Initially, when you solve somewhat easy questions, you will get more confidence. and then you can go to the little bit moderate portions and then to the tough portions. Okay. Generally, reading the comprehension in the beginning can be time taking, and if you're not that much confident on comprehension, if maths and reasoning is your main foray, then I will suggest that start with math and reasoning, first the easy, then the moderate, then the difficult, and then go towards the comprehension section. Okay. So I hope that is clear now, Disha. Okay. So thank you everyone. Enjoy the weekend. Just like last week, try to make the index of the topic which we have discussed in this week. I guess that in this week we have discussed more than 7-8 articles of mains. So try to consolidate those notes. Like on India-Russia relation also, we have seen a number of things. In abortion also, we have seen that what are the arguments, okay, what are the issues with respect to abortion. Last day also, we have seen in-house inquiry. We have talked about collegium reform. In this week itself, we have talked about freedom of speech and expression and many other topics also. Okay. So that will be all. Okay. Black gola करने में time लगता है. देखो, you can practice, like you have to do it with ball pen. So try to practice it. You can take some of the OMR sheets from the market and can try to practice it. Okay. But yes, even when you are solving question, you have to take around 10 to 15 minutes for this making the circles, making the black circles, filling those circles. Okay. So try to practice a little bit. You can take some of the OMRs and you can try to practice it per day. Practice gives you that perfection. Any other thing? Anything else? Okay. So thank you so much, everyone. Let's meet on Monday then, and enjoy the weekends, revise these topics, and let's meet on Monday. Thank you very much.